This video is for a few different people. It's for beginner woodworkers that are looking for an approachable project. It's for artists that are looking to build their own frames for their canvases and their artwork. It's for woodworkers like myself that are looking for a product to sell and make some money to help fund our shops and projects we want to work on. So we want to create a versatile frame system that applies to most of the canvases that are out there, from standard sizes, larger sizes, thicker, thinner, the deep ones. Frame is very simple and minimal. It uses a 1/4 inch side and a 1/2 inch backer piece. And when you install your canvas, you have about a 1/16 inch reveal all the way around. A nice bonus with the scrap back pieces is that you can install them vertically like you see here, which allows us to use these thinner canvases and raise up the canvas in the frame. One key design decision when planning for the reveal is that canvases aren't always the size they claim to be, because they wrap around the stretchers like this. So when laying things out in the final design, we want to have a nice reveal all the way around, just enough so that it floats nicely in the frame. I typically add 1/8 to the width and to the length of the canvas. So in this case, we're dealing with an 8 by 10 here. So I would add 1/8 of an inch, and that would be my inside dimensions of my frame. So 8 1/8 and 10 1/8. Now our sides that we created for the frames, these are 1.25 inch, which are made for the 5/8 inch frames. If you're going to go with the 3/4 inch ones, you'll want to add another 1/8 of an inch to the height of this. So plan accordingly, or if you're going with a really deep one. Before we start cutting our frame pieces, I like to set up a jig using some scrap MDF pieces. MDF's really good for this. I'm going to create a 90-degree jig over here, and what that's going to allow me to do is use a reference point as I build my frames, and I can use that to square up everything. I can use it as a glue-up surface. I'll show you that in a little bit. So I've cut one that's about the width of my bench. I have a couple when I'm working on bigger frames. I have one that's probably 4 foot or longer that allows me to do a good clamp up. I'm going to use a right angle, so I'll start clamping down my side here. Make sure you have a flat surface as well. And I also have a melamine top here. So this is really great for removal of glue, because you'll get squeeze out and stuff like that when we align this, and then I can just scrape it off afterwards. So, and then we can use this side to square up. You'll just have a framer square, and you can kind of move it back and forth until you get lined up. Then I'll lock down the corner, bring it back. I like to bring it out of square and then bring it into square. You can kind of tell when it's perfect. And then I'll throw a clamp down here. I'll just double check. And that's good to go. So we're gonna square up one of the ends. We've got our miter saw set to 45. I like to work on the left. We can use a couple different ways of clamping this to get our hands out of the way. This is a really good one. If you're going to use one of these squeeze clamps, make sure it has decent sized pads so that you're not going to mar up. Another option you could use is an F-style clamp, a small one. As long as it stays out of the way of the blade, should be good, and then get you some nice, this one actually applies some good pressure. So, bring your blade down beforehand, make sure it's not going to hit. And then you can see it's nice and tight there. When the saw comes down, we'll be good. And then I can keep my hand way back here and make a nice clean cut. The thickness of this is basically going to be the 45. You can either put the 45 backwards facing outwards and mark right there, or you could just take a piece of scrap with this and you could just mark your side. So that's going to be our offset, because we're going to be measuring the inside. That's going to be our dimensions to align with our canvas. So as you can see, if I do that, it lines up the same way. So you could use that or that. And then from there, then we can measure out our distance of our inside of their canvas. And what we're going to do with that is, if we have a 9 by 12, so 9, if we want a 1/16 inch reveal, we're going to add 1/8 of an inch. So this is our 9 1/8 from that tick to this tick. And then we can use our board, remove the spacer, and then we can just mark our thing like that. So this one will be our 9, and then we'll just make sure we get our direction that we're going to cut. Just put a reference point there, and now we can draw a straight line with our square and move over to the saw to make our final cut for this side. So we'll have to figure out our dimensions for each ones, and then each one, so if we're doing a 9 by 12 like we're doing, we'll do our 9 1/8, and then we'll do another one that's out here further for the 12 1/8. So that's kind of the method that's worked for me. I'm sure there's a dozen different ways to do this. Now that we have our first piece lined up, that worked out good, we can take our next piece that we're going to use and go in here, flip it, mark it as I need to, and then do my lines. Leave it a little proud, then you can creep up on that line. I think if you line up this with the kerf, it works out really good on the miter saw, and then it may leave the line, and then you can, I'll show you a quick little tip on how to take just a little bit off. Like I mentioned before, I like to reference the piece that I just cut, so I'll make them lined up. You can see it's just a little bit, and it's probably just that line. So if I want to just take off a little bit, what I can do is take my piece, bring the saw blade down, and then when it's all the way down, push it right up against the outside of the tooth is going to trim off just that little bit. It's a quick little way to like trim off just a little bit at a time. We've got our 2 different size, 9s and 12s all set. I like to put a 9 on there and a 12 or whatever size it is. So now we can assemble our frame. I like to use the blue tape method. I don't know if you've seen this before, but we basically use this as little clamps. It's really, really simple, and it works really well to bring a frame together. So let's get that assembled. Before I do that, a little bit of the cut, I just towards this way, just like to pull a little bit. I don't want to mess with that joint too much, but I just want to get rid of that fray. I mean, that's it. And I'm going to have 4 joints, so I'll just rip off 4 of these, ready to go. I like to cut these in half. I don't need all of this tape. So I have that ready. And what I do is I use this corner again and this nice straight edge to start building these pieces. So I'll line up this corner here, and I'll get my off. So I'll start with a 12, and then I'll go with a 9, and I'll make sure that these are lined up perfectly. And then I'll just take a piece of the tape, and I'll push it down really good. And then I like to put a piece of tape on the end, which will join the other end when we get glued. So from here, we'll just gently flip this over, and then we'll put some glue inside each of these joints. That tape's holding it all together as one unit. So put a little bit, you don't need a lot. And make sure you get the end too, because that's going to be the other side. And we just fold it up like this. Line it up visually, push it in, and then pull that last piece of tape really tight. Then we'll take it and we'll use our square that we used to line up things, and I'll get that nice and tight into that corner, and then put a little clamping pressure. And then at this point, we also want to get the glue squeeze out of the corners. Now we're going to measure for our backer pieces. These are going to be 90-degree cuts, and these are going to be the dimensions that we had measured before. So 12 1/8 will be on the long sides of the frame, and then the inside ones will have to make up the difference. This was an inch, so we'll do -2 inches. So if the side was 9 1/8, it would be 7 1/8. You want to keep it a little bit long. It's better to have more and then just creep up on the cut. You want it to be tight and snug, but not too tight that the glue won't be able to adhere well. Also, you don't want it to be too short, otherwise it's a piece of scrap. Now we've got all of our backer pieces all cut to size. You can put those into place. 2 long ones or 2 short ones. Nice and tight, but not too tight. That looks awesome. I like to just pull it off to make sure the glue gets off. And what I like to do is make sure it's nice and flat. And then I'll just take this, and then I'll take some weight, just some random weight. This is probably a lot. And that just keeps it flat while it's gluing up. And now we can let it set up like this for about 4 hours minimum. If you have it overnight, great. And then if I was doing other ones, I can stack them in layers, put my weight on top, make sure everything is nice and flat in between. This has worked out really good. Again, the glue doesn't stick to this, or it's really easy to clean up. So now after 4 hours, actually it's been probably 6 or 7 hours, this is good to go. Now we'll take off this tape on the corners here. And then I'll just take some sandpaper. I've got my sanding blocks here. I'll go through 3 or 4 grits. And we'll pre-drill some holes there. So we're gonna have a lot of these scraps. So these are the ends of the pieces. And if we just cut little corners for these, I usually do about 2.5 inches. And this is just a demonstration. Here's one of those flat canvases. And it'll just sit perfectly right on that top surface, just like that. So it's very versatile, this whole system. And we don't waste a lot. We get to use those for scrap wood. This floating frame system works great for sizes from, I've done 8x8 all the way up to 24x36, a nice big one. When you get bigger with the pine pallets, you need to be selective of the wood you use, and you want to add in some stretchers to add in some extra rigidity and some support. Here's an example I did from before. This is that 9x12 pine pallet painted black with the risers in here for a flat canvas. And here's one of some upcycled white oak that I did with a little stain and some halcyon finish on there. It looks really good. And you can see I used the pine parts for the parts you won't see. And again, this will be for a flat canvas. You want to know how I perfectly centered these canvases inside of these frames? It's these 3D printed things that I came up with. These are spacers. These are made for the 1/4 inch frames with a 1/16 inch reveal like we built in. So all I have to do is put them in the different corners, just like this. This works out good like this when I'm doing the taped ones. It allows me to get into the space, get the reveal, match it up, and then I can drop it into place, and it's perfect every time. What I really created these for was more for this style with the deeper canvases, the ones that get screwed from behind. What you do, like I said, it has this 1/16 inch reveal, so they fit into the corners, centers it perfectly, and these little corners actually hold it when I flip it over and keep it in place from falling out. So now I can go ahead and pre-drill and put my screws in, and when I'm done, I come back over here, pop them off, and my frame is done and perfectly centered every time. If you're interested in these, I'll leave a link down in the description to the 3D printed files so you can do it yourself. If anybody's interested, I might put them on Etsy. Let me know. How would you improve this frame design? What ideas come to mind after watching this video? Leave them down in the comments. Let's chat about them. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe and like. And up next, we've got this really cool video where we use some upcycled scraps from our workshop to make 4 practical gifts that you can give any time of the year, and that actually people will use, which is really important, I think, these days. So check it out. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time in the workshop. Take care.